Hi, St Peter's Parish family. My name's David. I'm one of the clergy at St Peter's Parish, and will be hopefully, not too distant future, be planting a church. Today's passage that we're looking at is a favourite of mine. It's in the Gospel of John, chapter 3, verse 30. And if you want to have a look, do so now. One of the things that I've watched on Netflix over the last couple of weeks has been something called The Last Dance, and it's a TV program, a documentary about the Chicago Bulls during the 90s, and about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, for me as a child growing up, was just the biggest sports star on the planet. I remember one day, very jealously, someone from the church had a pair of Nike Air Jordans that he'd spent hundreds of pounds on, and I was really jealous. And Michael Jordan was the greatest sports player in basketball, probably of all time. In fact, even some of the greatest players to have ever played the game will call Michael Jordan the best player. And one of the things that came out in the documentary was how that to win their first final, their coach had asked the game-winning shot to not be taken by Michael Jordan, but to be taken by someone that wasn't quite as good as him. And it was a real shock. But they did the play and they won the championship, and then started a legacy of winning so much throughout the 90s. It reminded me of the passage a little bit of that John the Baptist speaks about, in that he must increase, I must decrease. John the Baptist had an extensive ministry, blessing and working with many people, and yet still he had the humility to say he, that is Jesus, must increase and I must decrease. So often, sometimes we always try and justify ourselves. We fall into that trap of always trying to prove ourselves right, even when if we dare admit it, when we're wrong. But this passage reminds us, and what John the Baptist does reminds us really, that at the end of the day, it's only Jesus who can justify us. Jesus speaks higher. Jesus is King. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is sovereign. And so often what we try and do is justify ourselves by our actions, or by the way we live, or, by the way that we argue sometimes. But in truth, for the Christian, it's only Jesus who can justify. And that's why John the Baptist says he must increase and I must decrease, because John recognized that his life must speak of Jesus. And it's the same for us today, that our lives must, as much as we can, speak of Jesus. It's not about who we are, but it's about who Jesus is. Have a great day. Take care. God bless.